How do we develop the ability to avoid those situations to where stress overrides our body's motor functions? It's impossible to replicate the amount of chaos that can exist in real-world scenarios, but what we can do is put forth in a training environment the effort to ensure that we develop the best version of ourselves that we can, and then remember that luck will favor the prepared. Throughout our training course here, we regularly associate strength training with our ability to judge and assess risk. And I'm going to give you two of the tools that we use in order to help people start to develop those skills so as they move on with life, they're better ready to take a full advantage of the opportunities that are presented in front of them and learn and know and understand their risk boundaries. The first one I want to go over with you is flexibility. Yes, physical flexibility is a very important thing, and whenever we talk about physical flexibility, what we're referring to is the range of motion that a muscle itself has, the muscle and the tendons and the ligaments. What's the range of motion that they themselves will be able to move through? This is generally what we refer to as flexibility, that muscle's ability to allow for movement. So what is mental flexibility? What we like to refer to as mental flexibility is the ability to intake information from outside sources, the ability to understand from different points of view. That's generally what we refer to as mental flexibility, and a tool that we regularly use here to help people develop this is to go find a point of view, a newscast, a book, a video, something that you disagree with, and just try to listen to it and try to put yourself in the point of view of the other person. And it's not for the point, we're not trying to get you to change your mind on anything. That's not the goal of it. The goal is for you to become accustomed to intaking information from different points and being able to put yourself in other people's shoes whenever they provide you information. And the key to this is that whenever you're out inside and there's a scenario where the risk is heightened, people see things differently. And if you have the ability to listen to your left or right or the people under you, I have a Coast Guard guy who swears that this has improved the amount that he communicates with the people underneath him. If you're able to intake the information from the sources and people that are around you and you've become accustomed to that, you will have the advantage to see risk and opportunity in areas that others don't. This will greatly be able to assist you in your decision making because you'll have more information available to you. The second one that we like to go through is mobility. So as much in the physical strength training world, flexibility is the ability that the range of motion that a muscle has. Mobility is generally the range of motion that a joint has. And joints are the true stress supporting structures that exist inside of our body. Muscles exist to move bones. And these joints are made up of bones, and that we want to be able to have them be able to move fully through the range of motion and be able to provide maximum power at their far extremities, to be able to still work fully and functionally. So how do we transition this over into mental mobility? What are we looking for? The key that we give people and we try to have them work for is start to look at through elements of your daily habit that you have become reliant and dependent on. Let's examine why you've become reliant and dependent on these things in your daily routine and your daily habit. For a lot of this stuff that exists out there, the dependency is based on you performing or whatever part of the habit you do. It causes an emotional activation inside. And it's not so much the activity or intake that you have, that your body or mind's addicted to, it's that emotional activation that it's addicted to, because we know the mind really likes predictability. The brain really likes predictability. So it wants to have that regular routine to know that it can expect to have this type of alertness or other feeling that occurs into it at a certain point in time in its daily rhythm. So if we know that it's not really addicted to, that we're not really dependent on X inside of our daily routine, but instead we're actually more dependent on the feeling, on the emotional activity that we get from it, well, now it provides us a wide range of options. Now there's other things that we can plug and play inside of our daily routine to see how we react and see if we can still be able to get that same emotional activity. This is why this makes such an important part, is because generally whenever you've had scenarios in your life to where factors have really changed, like we have now for a lot of people, scenarios in their lives have changed. They've either had to adapt to working at home, or they've about to start adapting to going back to work. As these daily routines start to change and then throughout their lives, the factors, those emotional activators that they had are also going to have to change. And if you know what the emotional activators that the emotions that you were trying to activate, well, now you know what you can plug and play inside of your daily routine. So as you can see, the ability to have change be part of your life and be able to adapt, be able to react to the change, react to the stress that's placed, and still be able to work at a heightened level, still be able to work at an efficient level, and still be able to work underneath a high amount of intensity. This can be very valuable to us in many and numerous situations. The other thing I want to point out to you is, if you are falling in these situations to where there is large amounts of distress just because of the change in the world that's happened to you, it's very easy for us, whenever there's times of intensity placed upon us and we try to train in a state of high distress, these are the times whenever you will develop the bad habits that you'll regret later on in either your regular day-to-day life or your training. So being able to minimize the amount of distress by being adaptable to the change and the effects of stress on you, this can lead to being able to be more adaptive and being able to more quickly take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you in situations. Pressure is a privilege. Is that done? I have to sit back down now? Really? If you like what we're doing here, there's a red button down below. Please hit the subscribe button. There's more content coming out about how we can improve our mental fitness, how we can improve our running, and how we can address physical fitness issues. Now, pressure is a privilege.